Here are my quick thoughts for some movies coming out in April of 2025. A Minecraft movie. Where to even begin with this one? Look, you got a great cast here. Love Jack Black, love Jason Momoa. You got Danielle Brooks in there. But, just everything about this movie, from the teaser to, everything we've seen in the marketing thus far, it just does not seem like a real movie to me. Like, I mean it when I say, if you were to tell me that this was like a parody trailer making fun of, popular IPs becoming movies, I would have believed you, because this just looks so incredibly artificial and unfunny and stupid. And look, maybe it's going to be more self-aware than the marketing has let on. That is the one thing that could help this film. It's just, to me, everything we've seen, this just looks like, at best, it's going to be like a lesser version of Jumanji. At worst, it's going to be an absolute disaster that has a contender to be one of the worst films of the entire year. But I'll find out very soon, because I'm literally seeing it in a couple hours, so woo. Drop, honestly, I think looks a lot of fun. Yes, we've seen a premise like this before, where you have this woman going on a date and she's kind of told to kill her date. But this one is clearly taking a much more clever approach, with this woman constantly getting all these different airdrops and things like that, and them threatening her son, and it's starting off relatively innocuous but becoming more intense as it goes on. I just think this one has a lot of potential. It looks very suspenseful. Love Megan Fahey from what I've seen her in, and it just seems like this is a way you take a suspenseful thriller like this and just give it a modern setting and really put a spin on it. I feel like this could be one of the better Blumhouse films we've gotten in a while. The Amateur, I really want to be excited for, but unfortunately this just looks like a very generic spy thriller to me. You got this guy who's working for this agency. People kind of see him as just kind of someone that they can walk all over. They don't really seem as intimidating. And then he wants to go after his wife's killer, and he kind of trains to become a little bit more, a little more well-equipped for it and things like that. I love Rami Malek, like Rachel Brosnahan. I like Lawrence Fishburne, but really nothing about the marketing has won me. It just looks very derivative. Doesn't really look like it's doing anything different. So yeah, I can't really say I'm excited for this one. Warfare does have the potential to just be another throwaway war film, but the fact that Alex Garland is involved obviously has me very excited, especially coming off the heels of Civil War. I thought was a very effective film in what it was trying to do. And then also Ray Mendoza, who I believe, it says right here, he is actually an Iraq war veteran himself. I'm hoping this film does a really good job of just showcasing the horrors of war, but also really, doing what it can to not make things, to not give an overly sympathetic portrayal to the men that were fighting in this war, and not shying away from the atrocities that they committed. So yeah, we'll see how this one turns out. I've liked what I've seen so far. A24, kind of a weird streak recently, but I hope this is one of their better films. But by far, my most anticipated film of the entire month is Sinners. And why wouldn't it be? Ryan Coogler just almost always knocks it out of the park. Whether it's the really interesting aesthetic to this film, it being set in the 1930s, but also I think being this vampire film and having a very clever spin on that. You got a great cast here with Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld and Delroy Linda. I just think this film has so much potential. I think it's Coogler diving into something that we really haven't seen him done before, and I think it's going to be yet another really successful entry from. It just looks like one of those movies that needs to be seen on the biggest screen possible. Everything they have done trailer-wise has just really won me over, so yeah, I can't wait for this one. The Accountant 2, I can't say that much about. I literally have a poster for the first Accountant, despite not finishing it. I've seen the first 30 minutes. It's pretty good. This one looks like a lot of fun. I hope it is. I can't really say much else because I haven't seen the first one, but yeah, that is coming out. Hopefully I will finally watch the first one and then get to see this one, and then I'll have more of an opinion. So, next movie. The Legend of Ochi, another A24 film that I'm really hoping the best for. It definitely seems like it's diving more into the family-friendly territory. And not their first rodeo doing so. They did have Marcel the Shell with the Shoes on in 2022, which I really liked a lot. It was a very charming film. And this looks like it could also be of a similar, has a very Orion Pictures type feel to it. Seems like something that would come right out of the 80s, like an E.T. or the Goonies or something like that. And I think this film has a lot of potential. I really like the cast here. I really like the different effects they're using. Very much practical effects. I don't know why people thought this was made with AI or something like that. Really great cast. Willem Dafoe, Finn Wolfhard, Helena Zengel. I think this one has a lot of potential, so I'm definitely looking forward to this one quite a bit. And finally, we end with Until Dawn, which unfortunately, out of the movies I'm talking about, besides the Minecraft movie, is probably the film I am least looking forward to this month. Look, I get it that this is based off a video game and things like that, but there are times where things just don't really end up translating in terms of adaptations, and it seems like this film is going to be one of those You know, could have potential, it could have its suspenseful moments, but overall really hasn't done much. Not to mention the really terrible dialogue, the really awful acting here. I'm just not excited for this at all. Probably one of my least anticipated the entire month.